regular meeting to order. Take roll.
Mayor Querem.
Here.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
Commissioner Mabry.
Here.
Commissioner Fabia.
Here.
Commissioner Newman.
Here. Join us in the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comments? Okay, we'll go to Commissioner Newman for approval of minutes.
Mayor, I move that we approve the minutes from the last meeting as written.
A second.
Motion's been second. Any corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Abstain?
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And before we get started on the on invoices, I wanted to welcome Commissioner Mabry back. He missed 3 meetings in his duties with the Army Reserves. It's been it's been like 6 weeks up in Canada. So. Well, welcome home. Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your service, Rick. Then we'll turn it over to Commissioner Newman to start on invoices.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have the invoices for the Department of Public Affairs and the Department of Accounts and Finances. Planning Department, $8,077.46. Administration, $19,244.46. Self-insurance is $536.64. Property is $3,579.16. Community development, $10,250. For a grand total for the Department of Public Affairs and Department of Accounts and Finances of $41,687.72. The Mayor, I've approved these, I've reviewed these bills, find them to be true and correct, and move that they be paid.
A second.
Motion's been second. Any corrections? And call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to Commissioner Mabry.
Thank you, Mayor Querem. This evening I have the bills and payrolls for the Department of Streets and Public Improvements as follows. In the Street Department, a total of $108,520.59. In the Wastewater Collection Department, $13,285.22. Wastewater Treatment, $341.80. The Cemetery Fund, $8,207.71. Garbage expenditures of $13,003.64, for a total of $143,358.96. Your Honor, I find the bills and payroll be true and correct, and request payment to be made.
Second. Motion's been second. Any corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And I'll go to Commissioner Hayden.
Thank you, Mayor. I have the bills for public health safety. For the police department, I have $56,902.11. For fire ambulance department, I have $47,459.18, for a total of $104,361.29. I have reviewed these bills. I believe them to be true and accurate, and I will they be paid.
Second.
Motion's been second. Any corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. We'll go to Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Tonight I have the bills and payroll of public property utilities. Electric generation total is $634,517.14. Electric distribution of $57,850.22. Electric administration of $20,510.79. Telecommunications of $546.30. Water treatment of $23,623.51. Water distribution of $14,843.42. And water administration of $2,137.06. For a grand total of $754,028.44. Your Honor, examine the bills, believe them to be true and correct, and move that we pay them.
I'll second it.
Motion's been seconded. Any corrections? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Now go to regular business. We'll start with Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have the second and final reading of ordinance O-15-08-01-22, amending section 6-33 of the city code. Mayor, I move that we approve the second reading.
I second.
Motion's been seconded. Any corrections, comments? Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioner Newman. I'll go to Commissioner Warren.
Thank you. Now we have resolution R-15-08-01-22. Resolution appointing Jeffrey Mangers to the Illinois Municipal Electric Agency Board of Directors. As you know, Jason Bird has moved on, and Jeff's been appointed to that superintendent position, and now that we've been appointed him to the Electric Agency Board of Directors, I believe that we accept this resolution. I'll second that.
Motion's been seconded. Any comments?
I just have one comment. I made an error on the resolution number. It actually should, the end should be -30 rather than -22. I apologize for that. So, if you want to correct your records accordingly, it's -30. So with that correction, it's
Call roll.
include the second, right?
Yeah, call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. I'll go back to Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have the monthly building permit report for the month of July. Under residential, we have $7,453,374. Commercial is $171,500. Permits for 2015 through July, 54 permits for a total of $10,790,109, compared to a year ago with 62 permits, with the value being only $3,412,682. The big spike in this year is the new project, the Diamond Senior Development, which represents about $7.4 million of value. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Newman. We'll go on to any old business. Any new business?
I have one thing, Mayor Querem. Due to the upcoming Labor Day holiday on Monday, September 7th, garbage and recycling routes will be picked up on Tuesday, September 8th. Please set your garbage and recycling out by 5 a.m. If you have any questions, you can call the street department at 872-7331. And also, I did want to say thank you to the council for my absence and filling in. I also wanted to really appreciate what Commissioner Warren did. He filled in by checking my bills and payroll, and that's something when you say at a council meeting that you review them and approve them, you take responsibility. So I do appreciate that, Bob, for filling in for us. I appreciate that.
I'll get you back one day.
So again, thank you, council, for letting me be absent.
Any, are we in new business, correct? Okay. I have a couple items in new business. First of all, update on our city manager search. We have conducted the interviews of the candidates that we chose to interview. That process is over. We're now in the hiring process, and I fully expect to have someone hired by Homestead. Actually, I think we'll have someone hired long before Homestead, so that we'll be following pretty closely, I think. The second item I wanted to talk about was Darius Miller Park. Several years ago, I presented the idea of renovating that park and trying to do something different. The park appears to be predated. We actually had a committee formed, and we had some really good ideas come forth. The project really never got off the ground, but now we can see that there's a lot going on Main Street, the north end as well as migrating down the south end. And I think personally, I think it's time that we do something with Darius Miller Park, tie the park in with the depot with the north end business district. So I'm going to recommend or suggest that this fall, after Homestead, either in September, October, or into November, to do 4 items. First of all, the fountain is no longer hooked up. It hasn't been hooked up for quite a while. When it was hooked up, it leaked. Parts to replace replacement parts for that fountain are very difficult to come by, if not impossible. The pumps fail on a regular basis. So I think it's time that, again, personally, I believe it's time that the fountain needs to come out. Once the fountain comes out, there are mounds built up around that park that could be flattened, and dirt from those mounds could be used to fill in where the fountain's coming out. We need more dirt. The city's got plenty of dirt that can be brought in to fill in anything more that's needed. And with the fountain, obviously, we go all the vegetation around the fountain, the bushes, it wouldn't look right without the fountain being there any longer. Third thing is the shelter. If anybody's taken a look at the shelter lately, it's in worse condition than it's ever been. There's a lot of dry rot if you walk around. It's really not worth, at this point, saving. I think you'd really be pouring a lot of money into it. So I would also recommend that the shelter come down. Leave the concrete pad, because we don't know until we know what we're going to do with it. I think we would leave that the shelter sits on. And with the fountain gone and the shelter gone, then the sidewalks in the center park would also need to come out. They would lead to nowhere with those two items gone. Once everything is out and flattened, we throw some grass seed down. We could do all this with city labor, so we wouldn't have to hire anything out. It wouldn't cost city anything, or very little, if anything. This winter, I don't know if we reconvene the committee that we had, if we go forward with this or not, but we can have discussions at that time as to what we want to do with the park, how we want to renovate it, how we want to tie it in, with the depot, with the North End Business District. As far as financing is concerned, going forward, we have various options. We can do, anywhere from fundraisers to, there are some grants that are available for these type of projects. And then we have tourism funds, and that would be a perfect place to settle in with tourism funds. And to give you an example of that, our current budget with tourism calls for $46,000 to be applied to salary and IMRF and FICA. And we are not incurring those expenses at this time. Some of that money we are using to renovate the trolley, which we hope to have up and running by Homestead. And there might be a little bit on another project, but by and large, we'd have about $40,000 left over from this year. If we could freeze those funds going into next year, we'd have another $46,000. So we could basically have about $86,000 that could go towards a project at the park. Not that we're going to spend that kind of money at the park, but the money's there. So something to discuss. And I also think, along with those unused monies that we've been using for salary and taxes and retirement, is I think we've all seen what's going on up at the north end. The city spent some money, they put those light poles in, they put some very nice benches out, they put some nice trash receptacles out, they really cleaned up, what we had going up there. We're missing that on the south end, and we need some continuity and a nice even flow from the north end to the south end. So I'd also be looking, hopefully, to move down to the south end, look at some light posts for that area of town, as well as benches, and trash receptacles on the same level as we see up at the north end, again, for continuity. So this is on the agenda, so I throw it out there for discussion. We can get a consensus, or if you want to vote on it, we can do that as well. As far as moving forward, at least in the first step, and that is removing these items from the park this fall. So open it up to anybody.
I think it's a good idea to reconvene that committee, have them put together the ideas, and also put some numbers to it. And obviously, next year, we'll be rolling into the budget season. We'll see what's available there budget-wise, so there may be some opportunities there.
Any other comments?
I think it's time. I think looking at the shelter and looking at the fountain and all of it, it's unusable, it's unsightly, and if we just clear the decks and come up with a plan, I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, we've got a lot, like I mentioned, we've got a lot going on in Princeton up and down Main Street. Our Main Street is becoming revitalized. We've got momentum going, and let's not stop the momentum. Let's keep this thing going, and I think it's going to be a positive aspect for the entire town, for the immediate future for us, of our future.
I can echo just the thought that we really do appreciate the private sector that's reinvesting on Main Street. The Ace Hardware, for example, we really appreciate those folks making a commitment, and they continue to do that. And the folks that remodeled or renovated what we call the old hotel. And then there's a lot of smaller businesses in between. We just want to say thank you to those businesses for reinvesting both in the north and south end in Princeton. And that's private dollars, and we sure appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, you want to vote on this, or just a consensus, or consensus? move forward this fall, the work this fall. All right, so we're going to, we'll move forward, get this, we'll get together with the street department, with the city labor, and we'll get something planned, and we'll hopefully have this, completed by when the snow falls. Any other, new business? Public comment.
Briefly, I don't know if it was, my name is Larry Smith. I don't know if it was an oversight or what, but when I looked for an agenda on the city website today, there was nothing there. Now, that might be me, but I thought I'd bring it to your attention.
It was sent to the folder, it may not have reached the actual page.
On the website.
I had no trouble in the last two meetings, but this time I couldn't find it.
Yeah, we'll get that there.
That's my error.
So that, those agendas are gonna be posted from now
Yeah,
on.
I need to kind of check to make sure it got on there, but I know that went to the file.
Hi, Ann Crosby. Question on the park. What about the trees?
Well, I wouldn't do anything with trees.
Not gonna do anything with them? Okay,
I'd actually maybe plant something, you know, so,
yeah.
forward.
But as far as the big trees that are there, you think that they'll be left alone? Yeah.
You know, I
Which
think
is again.
There's some pretty good sized trees.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anything.
And that park needs seating somewhere. There's no benches. I mean, the only place to sit right now is under the scary shelter, I think, and, on the fountain. So just with people that are with the train that come in, as long as we're renovating, if we can still kind of keep an appearance of, I hate to see a desolated area that everyone on the Amtrak sees, so that would be just something to consider.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. If you get some, picnic tables or benches out in the park, I think, erecting a sign.
You know, we had thought that once everything has been cleared, to just more or less erect a sign that's saying, you know, not that I'm, you know, a wordsmith, but coming soon, or we have plans, or this, we're gonna make this look beautiful. It's gonna be put back together again, and there's gonna be places to sit, and I would hope a place where someone could bring a sandwich at noontime and
Right.
and use the trees and take advantage of what we think will be a pretty nice, attractive looking place, because it's one of the first things that people see, certainly getting off of Amtrak, coming into town. It's
Right.
one of the first things that should look its best.
And you do see a lot of people eating in their cars there underneath the shade
Right,
trees,
right.
because there is no place to sit out there.
I think what I think Mayor's talking about, we just wanna have a clear palette, just get this whole thing cleared off, and then just sit down with people and say, what kind of things can we put in?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Can I volunteer to be on that committee? You didn't know that before.
You're on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll get my two cents in here too. And Carolyn Dillard, Northern Business also. When the park was built, give you a little bit of history, or when the bumps were put in the park and the new living, it virtually made it so that we couldn't use it. At that time, Beach Days was held down there, and we had to move craft shows and everything into the street because the bumps were in the way and you couldn't put up anything. I don't know now what the situation is with electrical in there other than at the shelter, but that's something to consider. And if you flatten that out, we'll be able to use that park again. It'd be great. Lucian Piper built that. And at the time, Bill Nelson was the mayor, and my son was working on his crew, and he went marching down to Nelson Drugstore and said, that hog shed won't stand up the way it is. So they had to reinforce a lot of it at that time. And, but it served its purpose. It certainly needs to go. Thanks for everything you're doing down there.
Thank you. Any more public comment? Okay, well, entertaining motion to adjourn for next meeting.
Mayor, I move that we adjourn to the next regular meeting on Tuesday, September 8th at 7 p.m.
Second.
Motion's been second. Call roll.
Commissioner Warren.
Aye.
Commissioner Mabry.
Aye.
Commissioner Fabia.
Aye.
Commissioner Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.